morning, everybody. Well, maybe I should say good afternoon or maybe good evening. It kind of depends on when you're watching this. Someone wants to say hello. Come here, Rufus. Come here. Come here. Come here. I don't know if, yeah, you saw the, come on. Get up here. Come on. This is my grandpup. My daughter went to Chicago for the weekend, and so I get the lovely opportunity to babysit him for 4 days and 4 nights. So on top of my 3 that are older, I have an extra one who is very young compared to my 3 docile doggies. Rufus is, I believe he just turned 2. He's a little bit more rambunctious than mine are. So you might hear his collar. It jingles where mine are not wearing collars today. I take their necklaces off whenever they want. They're not going to run from me. But Rufus still has his on. So you're going to hear that jingle. Okay, hopefully he'll be quiet. There is a stray dog that's running around. He's been barking at the geese in the pond all morning. So they're a little bit more rambunctious today than they usually are. So hopefully I don't have to pause because of that. But this isn't a regular floss tube. This isn't an update. First, welcome to the country. I'm Tammy Blaylock, and my channel, YouTube channel, Flosstube channel, is called Creative Country Girl. And I live out in the country in Indiana, and usually I do floss dates, updates with my crafts and fun goodies. So, but today I wanted to kind of do not really a tutorial, but more of a finishing video. I have this lovely piece. It is autumn salt boxes from Plum Street Samplers. There's 2 salt boxes in that pattern, and this I stitched my favorite one. And so I want to fully finish this item. And my plan is to end up with it on this piece. This is a piece from Hobby Lobby. I got it probably the end of July, the very 1st of August. I haven't looked at it lately to see if it's still there. I do know that the end cap full of these items are still there. It's called Farmhouse Party or something like that. Anyway, it's in the party supply section, and they have a bunch of metal tin signs, wood pieces that would be great for ornaments or door tags or something like that. I have some of those. Chalkboard easels. These came in a set of 6 for, I believe, $19.99, and I used a 40% off coupon on them. This isn't chalk. You could probably use it as a chalkboard with the chalkboard markers, but it's a black paint, and I believe you're supposed to use it for like table numbers, like table 1 or table 2 or blue table or whatever if you're having a party. But I'm going to use it as just a little piece to set out. So, and I have 6 of them, so I might permanently just hot glue this down. I'm not for sure. So what I've done in advance is I've rambled through my fabrics, and I've cut some strips. That's chalk. Cut some strips. This is a, there we go. This is just a brown viney, a mustard color, and then the burgundy is one of my early Americana not Americana, but Civil War patterns. And it's more of a plant-based. Come on, camera. There. And I love this. And then I also have 2 different ribbons from Hobby Lobby. This is more of like a burlappy almost, but it's true brown. It's not a burlap collar. And then I like this green gingham. It's an olive green, and green's my favorite color in case you haven't figured that out. I've also pulled out my jar of buttons. There's vintage buttons in here, but there's also newer buttons. All of these buttons I use for decorating scrapbook pages and stuff like that. So I haven't scrapbooked in a while because I finished. I got caught up when my kids graduated from high school. So I'm still using those. So if you have a jar of old buttons, this is one I pulled just to share with you. I love vintage and old things. The 1940s is probably my favorite century, not century, decade. 50s would be right after. This is an old jar that my aunt had, and she put it in a rummage sale, and I was like, that's fine. So I love old jars, and she had it already full of buttons, and my aunt is very dear to my heart, so I grabbed that. So I don't use these buttons because these are my aunt's, Aunt Betty. Hi, Aunt Betty. And these were my aunt's buttons, so I hang on to those. But I wanted to grab it just to share it with you. Hi, baby. Okay, so that's what I've done. I had a piece of mat board, and this actually came to me through a order I placed with a scrapbook store that I really like on Etsy. Not a scrapbook store, but a needlework store on Etsy. And I found some patterns there that I really liked. It just came in yesterday. I believe it's Pumpkin Hollow. Oh, I don't have the card in here. I'm going to pause this in a minute because I'm going to have to change the camera. But I think it's Pumpkin Hollow quilts or Pumpkin Hollow something. But it came in a full sheet. And I left one piece upstairs. My sewing room's upstairs. So when I went up to look for fabric strips, I took my piece that I am going to use upstairs with me so I can make sure something would fit. But this was one piece, and this morning at first, this piece actually measures out to a 4x4 square. So at first I was like, okay, I need a 4x4 square. But then when I looked at the 4x4 square on my sign, I was like, okay, so I'm going to place this up here. My cross stitch is going to be up here. I really don't like this empty space. So what am I going to do with that? So I ended up cutting a second piece that ended up being 5.5 inches long. So it's 4 inches this way, and it's 5.5 inches long. And my plan is, to add fabric to the bottom of this, sew them together, and add fabric to the bottom of this to make it 5.5 inches long. Because I don't want this extra 5.5 inches up here. And I really like the idea of the fabric being down here close to the wood. So I'm going to have, the way I cross stitched this, I had the selvage at the bottom. So I'm going to have to sew it and add it on, which will be fine. All I'm going to do when I sew, you put fronts to fronts. Since I'm using a solid, it really doesn't matter which side is the front, but I know this, because there's the back, I know this is the front. So what I'm going to do is figure out what size I want my strips to be, and then I'm going to put them face to face, fronts to fronts, and then I'm just going to sew, let me hold it like this, a 1/4 inch seam all the way around. and then I'll iron those over to the dark side. And then I'll add this, or I got to figure out what order. And once I figure that out, I might even sew the ribbon on. I don't know. I got to figure that out, and I'll let you know what I do. But I'm going to pause this in just a minute. Let me see if I need to tell you anything else. I also cut a piece of batting that has thread all over it, but I'll clean that up. A piece of batting that's 4 by 5.5, because I kind of want my cross stitch piece to puff up just a little bit. I do have some sticky boards. I get mine at Hobby Lobby. I live in Indiana, so it was either Muncie or Anderson Hobby Lobby where I get my sticky boards. They have smallest size, I believe, is 5 by 7, and then it jumps up to 8 by 10. There's 4 different sizes, so the last size is rather large. I believe it might be 16 by 20 or something like that. And again, I'll run in there, and usually I watch the sales. And I never pay anything full price at Hobby Lobby. So I will watch the sales and I shop according to the sales. So if I want ribbon, I wait until it's on sale. This party stuff never went on sale. So if I'm buying ribbon one week, I have a coupon. So I will spend my coupon on this. Okay? Sticky boards never on sale. The one thing I don't spend a coupon on is floss. I do pay regular price for DMC floss at Hobby Lobby if I need it. But, you know, I heard they ever pay full price. So sticky board, I always use a coupon for that. Stuff like this, I always use a coupon for that. I have this out because I'm going to do a little tutorial on chalk painting today too. That'll be up in a couple of weeks. But these, what are these called? Mini charcuterie or charcuterie board. I call them a paddle board. They're actually called something else, and I can't remember right now. So these are $3.99, but they've been on sale since the fall stuff has been out. The fall stuff hasn't gone off sale. So, I'm going to show you how to do this, and I think that's it for now. So I'm going to put you guys on pause, and I'm going to come back after I have sewn my stuff together. Okay? I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hello, I'm back. I forgot, I haven't sewn anything together yet. I just paused a second ago and I came back. I forgot to tell you because I'm going to have to sew on this at the same time that I'm sewing my strips on. And I don't want to walk up and down and up and down and up and down just to do a quick video. So what I've done here is, I don't know if you can tell, I measured a line that's an inch above where my pattern ends, where my stitching ends, from the top and to the left. Okay, so what I'm going to do, actually that's to the right. When you look at it, that'll be to the right. And then on this side, it's not an inch, but it's a good 3/4 of an inch, but it's already serged. I bought it that way. So I'm not going to cut this side down any at all. But what I'm going to do is cut where my pencil line is so that I can come back, and when I have this all together for one piece, I can, stitch it onto my mat board. Lace. I'm going to lace it onto my mat board, and I am going to show you that part. So now I'm going to pause again, and I'm going to run upstairs. I am going to cut this down to where it's an inch above and an inch on the side, and then I'm going to add everything to the bottom. and then I'll be able to lace it all up. Okay? Great. I'll be back soon. Bye-bye. Okay, so we're back, and I have my piece sewn together. You can see that it's not perfect. I did not even worry about making sure that these pieces went all the way to the 5.5 inch mark, because I know that when I lace it over my mat board, I know that it's going to get laced around no matter what. See that? So if I was lacing it this way, my material is going to get wrapped around that piece of mat board no matter what. Okay? So what I need to do now is, I usually turn this around this way because I don't want any kind of color possibly showing through. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the blue side up so it'll go on that way. Please ignore my dogs if you possibly can. Yeah, the dog's back at it, and my dogs are all riled up again. So I need to glue this piece of batting. They're cut the same size. So, and to do that, I'm going to use Eileen's glue, the original formula. Nothing fancy. I have this around the house. Again, I get it at Hobby Lobby, usually with a coupon. You don't have to use a lot of glue. I go usually a thin strip around the perimeter. There's no right or wrong here. Make sure that I have it covered pretty well. And then I get a paintbrush, which I forgot to get. Here we go. And I'm just going to make sure that this glue is spread out just a little bit. And it basically covers pretty much. I'm not worried really. I'm working on an old kitchen table. It's from the 50s. I think it has a sticker on it, 1951. It's in my studio. I'm in my studio. And, you know, back then they made things to last. And Eileen's glue is water-based. So I don't mind doing this. I do have a mat I can put down, but with Eileen's, I don't worry about it. With chalk paint, I don't worry about it because chalk paint just comes right up. Oh, I know, Rufus. You poor baby. You want to go get that doggy, don't you? Can you guys hear it? It sounds like a little baby puppy. I'm not going to go investigate because if I were to find a puppy, maybe I will go investigate. But if I find a puppy, I'm going to want to bring it inside to protect it and take care of it. And then I fall in love with it. And then it stays forever. And, you know, that's how we've got the menagerie we have now. So, 4 dogs. We did lose one this year, earlier in the spring, early summer, to kidney disease. But we've got 3 in the house, and 1 outside, a lab outside, Charlie. And inside is Lucy, Lydia, and Henry. And then we also have Bert and Ellie. Bert is a cat that my husband and daughter rescued 2 years ago now. He was 3 weeks old and they rescued him, and he was only supposed to stay a few weeks until we found someone. 2 years later, he's still here. Okay, so I've got that and I've smoothed it out. I'm going to pause again so I can let this dry for a few minutes. I'm going to clean up my glue mess, wash out my brush, and then I will come back and I'll start lacing my stitched piece over the top. Okay, so I will see you in just another few minutes. Okay, so we're back. I have my thread with me. This is 100% polyester. It's strong thread. It gives just a little bit. I like to use this when I'm lacing. Now, I will say I'm a little nervous now because I haven't laced in a very long time. This is actually one of the first stitch pieces. I am so sorry. I was interrupted so many times. I had to basically step away and do a few things, and now I'm back. So my last video stopped in the middle of it, unknowing to me. And so I started the last segment, but it ended right before I started lacing. So I'm going to explain what I've done at this point in time. I don't want to take it apart. So I'm just going to explain where I'm at, and we'll start over a little bit. Okay. So this is how I started. I have a knot. It's a quilter's knot. And I went underneath on one side and came up, and then I took my thread above and then went under, okay, brought it up here, went under, okay, stitched, brought it up here, and so now I'm over here. So what I need to do again is go all the way down. I'm not going to pull very, very tight. I am pulling it tight. I don't want it to be wide open, but I want there to be room so that I can move this around, because we're going to have to center this when we're done. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause this yet again, because I don't want to spend a lot of time on camera flossing, not flossing, flossing, lacing this up. I'm going to come back to where I'm about down here, and then I'll show you me kind of tightening it up and getting it centered on the other side before I go to lace the other direction. Okay, so for right now, I am going to pause it, and I will come back in just a bit with a little bit more once I get down close to the bottom. Okay, I'll see you soon. Okay, so we're back. I have gotten down to where the fabric begins, and I've stitched into the mustard color fabric, but I've stitched through, let's see, it's 3 layers of material right now. It's through the Aida cloth, and then 2 layers of the mustard where it overlaps there. Before I start tightening this up, I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to start looking at my piece just a little bit to kind of get an idea of where it's at. So if you look at it, you can tell that this sunflower is right on the edge here. And I have some, well, look at that. Huh? Do you see that extra stitch? I didn't realize that I did that until right now. Oh well, it's staying on there. I'm not worried about it. So I need to kind of move my fabric over a little bit, but I want to do it in a way to where it kind of stays straight. And I'm going to pretend like that extra stitch isn't even in there. I'm going to line them up. So that has gotten that back a little bit closer. Okay, now I'm going to look at the top a little bit. That's a lot. So again, I am going to push it, pull on the ends right here, and make it go a little bit closer to the top to where when this is folded over, kind of pull it tight. I haven't stitched back here at all, but if you pull it tight, you can kind of see how it's going to end. Okay, and then do the same down here. I didn't want a lot of burgundy showing. I just wanted to bring in that deep red color a little bit more, and then you kind of pull. Yeah, so that's going to work really well, I think. So I'm going to double check this fence isn't right. I'm going to straighten this out because it's a little wonky. Oh, it's a little wonky because my numbers are off a little bit, I bet. I didn't realize that. This sunflower probably should have ended here, which means I was probably off in my counting, which right now I am not worried about at all. You know, there's things to worry about, and then there's things to worry about. So I don't sweat the small stuff, because when the big stuff comes around, I really do sweat, and it takes a lot. So I'm not a perfectionist. Nothing in life is perfect. I'm not perfect. My stitching is far from perfect. My sewing is far from perfect. I know what I like and what I can deal with and what I can handle. And so that's about what I do. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with this. So as I turn it over, I'm going to finish stitching down to this end with the fabric. Only now I can start pulling it and getting it a little bit tighter. And to do that, you get your thread from up here, and then you go about 3 or 4 down, and you're going to start pulling and getting where it's loose. Go thread to thread. And tighten it as you go down. See how it's still really loose up here? I haven't gotten it all the way. So I have to tighten it here pretty good. And when I tighten it lower, it should pick that up. Let me go a couple lower. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it over. See, that's what I thought. I thought it was a little bit too tight, and it is. I don't want it to be so tight that it's yanking and pulling where the thread connects in the back. So now I've got to put a little bit more of this back in. Loosen this stuff up just a little bit. Get it straightened up again. There. That's better. Okay, so watch your tension as you're pulling and straightening. I'm still going to tighten this up. About every ½ an inch I'm going to start pulling. Let's see, what am I doing wrong here? Okay, I got to pull this down. tighten this up. You just want that there. And then go down here. I'm not going to go here because I got it twisted there. Try not to twist when you're lacing, because when you twist it, it could create issues for you when you're tightening up like this. You could see I ran out of thread, so all I do is knot it up and connect it so it's one piece still. Oh, that's where I'm running into problems. Let's see. So my knot is here. So now, see where I knotted it? I can't. Will that go through? I do try to make the knots small so they can go through. It would be nice if it would. You could force it through. Nope. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so here's the problem. It's got to go through here. Is that right? Or there? Come on. Nope, it's not going to do it, is it? Okay, so in that case, what I'm going to do is clip it right here. And then I'm just going to retie. I'm not a knot master, so oh, doggy. It's not a puppy, by the way. I saw it. So not puppy. Oh, and there's Rufus. He's outside. Taking a break. Or rather, Mammal's taking a break. Okay, so then keep going down like this. I'm going to tighten it up and continue to lace down. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so as you can see, I'm all the way at the bottom. And so it's time for me to start going the opposite direction. And I have these corners. But I want to turn it around and look and make sure I'm good. And I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks pretty good. So, tighten it up on the material. And I'm going to come back over here. And what I'm going to do, I'm just self-taught. Again, I'm not a master at this. I do what I think is right. And I go from there. So what I do is I kind of bend that and hold it with my finger. And then I come up behind it and take my needle and pull it through. Okay, why is it not going through? Oh, I have a knot. Yep, That would explain it, wouldn't it? Story of my life today. This is taking a lot longer than what you guys will ever know. Just because of the amount of thread I'm using, and the dogs. Rufus, my friend, came in here and got it all tangled and created a huge knot before, and it took me probably a half hour to figure it out. So thread has not been my friend today. I'm going to bring this up, untwist it. There. Okay, so make sure that still folds over like that, because I loosened it up and it kind of lost its fold. And now we're going that way. Don't get twisted, Tammy. Okay, so now we're not twisted. And what I'm going to do right here, I'm kind of going to tack this down just once. Just so it's going to stay. It's going to stay pretty good. And then I'm going to come down here and basically do the same. I don't want to create bulk, but I do want to fold it over at an angle, because if I don't, then when you go to turn it over, your edges are going to try to pop out. And that's what you don't want. You don't want people that come over, or you don't want to look at it and see those edges coming out. So I want this to fold over. When I bring it over like that, I want to know that it's away from the side. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is continue to do what I have been doing. I'm going to continue to go this way and lace up this direction. And it's not going to take as much this way as it did this way, because this was the first piece. So it's on there and it's straight. So I'm going to leave larger gaps in between the thread, and if I have to go back this way again, that's fine. But I'm going to pause again, and I'm going to get this to where I'm almost over here, and then I'll come back. Okay? I'll see you in a sec. So I've gotten this done almost to the end, and I'm kind of holding this tight. I just want you guys to see how I finish this. I hope I have enough thread. So I am going to take the top and turn it under again. I don't want any ends to pop out. I'm threading this down, pulling that and making sure this goes under. Pulling it pretty tight. Hanging on to the thread. Doing the same down here, kind of folding it a little bit. Making sure my needle goes through. Okay. And then I'm going to turn it over while I'm pulling this kind of tight. Make sure it looks okay. Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, what do you think? I'm happy with that. I'm happy with it. Okay, so now I'm going to bring my thread back over this way. I'm just going to choose a thread, not that one. Let's see. I'm going to choose this one. Go underneath and then go back through. And then I'm going to pull a little bit tighter. Come on. There. Okay. That's good. So I'm going to find where my knot is. I'm going to go under, bring it around, go back under, through into the middle, and tighten again right there where the first knot was. And I like to do it a couple more times. It looks like I've loosened up the threads, but I really haven't. They stretch. Okay. And with that, I've got it done. Well, I don't have it done, but it's laced. Now, it's not pretty. Am I worried about these strings? No. Who's going to see the back? Who cares how pretty it is? On the back, not me. Isn't that cute? But I still have this stuff. And at first I wanted to use the green. I do like it. But I think this green is off. So even though I love green and my house is got green everywhere, I'm not going to do that. This is almost too wide. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is like put this like this and wrap it around somehow and come back with a button right in the middle. I don't know. I'm going to get my glue gun out because I'm definitely going to need my glue gun for that part. I'm going to get my glue gun out and I'm going to go grab something else and look through my buttons. And I think we'll almost be done. So, got my buttons. Get my buttons opened. I have my glue gun. I did reach over and grab, I always have these 3M strips. They're great for picture frames on the wall. I could get my picture frame straighter using these than I do my nails and hammer. So in order to use this, I might be able to get by with just one of these. You just take them apart and put one on top of the other, and it's like Velcro almost, but it's plastic. Squeeze that together so that's ready. And then I'm going to find my ribbon. I cut a piece off and I'm going to start like in the middle, and I don't want it to be as wide as it is. So I'm going to like finger press. If you're a quilter, you know what I mean. You kind of fold your fabric and then you press it with your fingers instead of an iron. My iron's upstairs and I'm not going to run upstairs to iron this. So I'm going to take this. Times like this, you know, I really wish I was more like an octopus, you know, so I could have all those extra hands. And I want to make sure as I wrap it over. Okay, see that? I like that, and I like it right there. So I'm going to do the same. fold it over. Okay, I like this. So what I'm gonna do is, just when I thought they were all napping. Hi, Rufus. No nap for you today? Why am I not surprised, bud? Okay. So I cut it off right there, and I'm gonna grab my glue gun. I have a glue gun. Oh, I love it. It's a Sure Bonder. I'm not for sure where I got it, but it has a base, and it sits on the base. It's plugged in right now, so I can't show you. I'll show you the next time I use it. I'll make sure it's plugged in closer. But I can use it on the base and not have to pick the glue gun up. All I have to do is press the trigger, and glue will come out and it stays on its base. Or I can pick the glue gun up off of the base and use it like a gun. When it's plugged into the vase, it's plugged into electricity, so it warms it up. When I take it off, it's still on, but it doesn't have electricity. So you got to use it kind of fast if you're going to pick it up and use it, so you can get it plugged in so that it'll stay hot. But it's a lot easier to use than my old cheap little glue gun that I bought at Hobby Lobby. Really, really cheap. I don't want to use a lot of glue. I'm just going to try to put a really thin little line, and it's going to be hard right here, because I want to just get this bottom piece. This is going to be underneath, glued down, right there. So, do I want to do it? Hang on, let me rethink this for a minute. I was going to put this on top and then do a button right here. And so I would glue this on top and cut this at an angle. What am I going to do? You know what? I'm going to move this over a little bit. I'm changing my mind. I might not need my glue gun. I'm still going to fold it in the middle because I don't want it to be really wide. It doesn't go with the dimensions of this piece. So I wonder if I tie it once like that. And yes, I think I like that because I like these pieces sticking out a little bit if I can maintain it. Yes, I like that. So that's what I like. That's what I like. So I'm gonna bring my glue gun in, and I'm just gonna put, okay, there we go, a small amount. Oh, yeah, small amount. As you can see, that was and there went the base. Okay, that's okay. I'm not going to worry about that overage. I'm looking in my buttons. No. I'd like to find an old vintage mustard one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that. Okay, now it's cool enough for me to come in with my finger and just take that little dollop that was popping out. I'm still holding it down. I'm still looking for the perfect button. Button. Who's got the button? Ooh, there's a green one. I kind of like it. Who doesn't like green? You gotta love green. That's the same one. So those aren't old. Those are probably from my scrapbooking days. I still like them. I like the color. The color's a good choice. Here's one that's a little bit more vintage, and it's cloth. And it's a winner. And I have another idea in just a second that just popped in my head. So now I'm going to take my glue gun again. This is my glue gun. Over here is the on-off button. And there's a button, a light here. So when it's plugged in and has electricity, it's on. This should still be warm enough. Yeah. So I've got some glue there. I'm going to put it right in the middle. And I want to hold it down pretty good. I'm looking again. Because I have these vintage buttons. They have thread on them. They've cut them off, and instead of throwing away the button like we would now, they kept it. And I get these at like estate sales where you get a big old tin or a jar of buttons, garage sales, flea markets. It's hard for me to turn down any old vintage sewing notion. I love old rickrack, bias tape, all kinds of that stuff. Oh, I'm so excited. So these are going to stay kind of folded over, but I'm going to cut them at a better angle and make them a little bit shorter so they look perfect, even though I know this piece is far from it. Okay, scissors. There. These are my good ones. These are my good craft scissors. My good sewing scissors. I almost cut that wrong. My good sewing scissors are upstairs, but these are my good craft scissors, because sometimes I bring fabric down and cut it here, and it's awful to cut fabric and material with bad scissors. My cross stitch, all of my cross stitch materials are down here. So if I need to cut a piece, I cut them with those scissors. Okay, so that's my piece. I'm going to pause and switch the camera over, and I'll be right back. Hi guys, I'm back. So yeah, I started this video about 10 o'clock in the morning. It's now 2:30. So yeah, that's why you've got this popping out. Yeah, so it's been kind of a crazy morning, all these interruptions and the dogs being upset, but there you go. There's my piece. And what I'm going to do with it, I'm going to turn this over. And I brought 2 sets of these down, but I'm just going to try one at first. Because if I don't have to use 2 of these, they're kind of expensive. I don't want to. I'm going to put one at the very, very top. Is at the top. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to use 2. I'm just going to use 2. I was thinking of using my hot glue to adhere this to, but the more I thought about it, I was like, you know, I might like to use those others for gifts or other places in the house. I might want to put one of these up in my sewing room with a piece on it. One in the bedroom or the guest room or kitchen. So I'd rather try to do something that I can switch out. And so I am going to put one on the bottom, and I'm going to put it kind of on the ribbon and the burgundy material so that it holds the ribbon in place a little bit more. So that one's at the bottom, okay? And the piece is tending to bow just a little bit, so that's going to help if there's two together there. So you take those off, and then I am just going to eyeball it. For those of you that don't know what the term eyeball means, it means I'm using my eyeballs to look at the spacing on the top, the bottom, and each side to make sure it's the same or close to it. Okay. I love it. And there you go. My finished piece. Fully finished object. I hope you like it. I hope you learned something. I hope you had fun. This was fun for me. I usually don't take time out to fully finish something until I have a pile of them. It's nice to do it this weekend. Kids come on Monday for the first time this school year. So I'm excited, but I know it's going to be a very stressful week, just like this last week. It was like running a marathon in 2 hours every day. That's what I felt like every night going home, that I just ran a 25-mile marathon. So this is a stress reliever, and it makes me happy. So there's my finished piece. I hope you like it. And again, I hope it makes you happy. I hope you got some ideas on what you can do. Go to Hobby Lobby. Don't just go to the picture frames and think those are the only frames you can choose from. You can choose from a lot more. Go to the party section. Go to the crafts section. Go to the jewelry section. Go to the Christmas section. Just go and look around. You'll often find me with a finished piece walking through Hobby Lobby, trying to figure out, what can I put this on? Or if I see something that, ooh, that would be good. And that's what happened this day. I wasn't in the party supply section looking for party favors or something. I was walking by it I was in the wood, the pine wood section and all of that. I was looking for stuff there. And as I was walking out of that section, I walked to the main aisle, and then I'm walking past the party section, and I passed the farmhouse party end cap and kind of looked as I walked by, because it was all black and white and wood and twine, and I saw some buffalo check and metal. And so I just did a quick look as I'm walking by, and I kind of did a and reverse and stopped and looked, and that's when I picked these up. So it's just another way. I might need to find something up here, and it won't be a button because I've already used a button, and that might be redundant. No, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to put this piece up, set it out where it's going to go. I don't know where it's going to go yet. And I'm going to walk by it this weekend. And I might end up adding something up here, because that looks kind of like, there's supposed to be something there, but there's not. So I might have to fix that. If I do, I'll update it in my next Flosstube, which is supposed to be next weekend. Okay, so I tend to be on a 2-week schedule with those. Every 2 weeks I'm going to try to go. And in between, hopefully I can do something like this. So enjoy. Thanks for hanging out with me in the country here on the Creative Country Girl channel. And I hope you're safe. I hope you're having fun and enjoying yourself. And I hope you're living a life stress-free. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.